Killer mother. A mother is known for her tenderness and intense love for her children, and that she sacrifices everything for the happiness of her children, even if the sacrifice reaches her. As a criminal today was obsessed with her children and sacrificed herself in return for her son not being taken to the army. After killing 3 women from her village, knew about her and arrested and began to interrogate her, didn't speak, and if not for the threat of the police that she will take her son, wouldn't speak. But the shocking surprise for the police when she began to tell what happened and what she did to her victim. Who is she and what did she do? And what is the surprise? April 18, 1894 was born Leonarda Cianciulli in Italy, specifically in a small town called Montiel, born as a result of the rape of one of the cattle herders to her mother while she is returning from the monastery, and in order not to know what happened, married her mother, rape of her rapist, and this explains later the mother's hatred of Cianciulli, where the mother was treated badly and hated her strongly and couldn't bear it, and this greatly affected the Cianciulli, where she tried to commit suicide twice. But each time she failed, and in adolescence she was known in the village as a playful and naughty girl, and the matter changed when she married Raphael Panzard without her mother's permission, and at the wedding the mother called her and said, "I hope all your children die." Her mother's words affected her greatly, as she got pregnant Cianciulli twice, but the pregnancy wasn't complete, and she thought that this was because of her mother. Her marriage didn't make Cianciulli calm down, but she was imprisoned 3 times, including once because of threatening someone quietly, and during her marriage she moved from town to town because of her reputation until 1930, when her house was demolished due to an earthquake, and took compensation money from the Italian government, and moved to a new town and started her life again where no one knew about her past. And she was known to be a persistent and strong lady and began working in a clothing store. In this period, Italy entered the stage of World War II and began to kill the youth of the entire country. And this was the beginning of everything, as Cianciulli had a son named Joseph and was supposed to join the army. But Cianciulli stood in his face because of her great love and went to one of the charlatans to find a solution to protect her son. So the impostor asked her to make a human victim and the gods will save her son. Cianciulli didn't hesitate and began to choose her victim, and the choice fell on a girl named Miss Faustina Setti, and this is because she was one of the hesitant women. So she killed her and wasn't satisfied with her, as she saw that one victim wouldn't be enough to protect her son. So she began to choose another victim, a widow named Francesca Soave, where she convinced her that she knows prestigious people who can intercede her to work at a girls' school located in Piacenza, which is located in northern Italy, and not to tell anyone so as not to invite. And down comes with all her savings and a few clothes, and then no one knows where she is or what happened to her. And it is clear that Cianciulli liked it, and not only 2 women, but she began to choose a new victim for her, and the choice fell on a famous singer named Virginia Cajobo, and she was very beautiful, but over time and age, Cajobo began to lose her fame, and people began to appear who don't know who she is. So she decided to go to Cianciulli to help her. Cianciulli offered her that she knows about a gentleman from the top managers of theaters and opera houses in Venice, and convinced her that working with this man to the spotlight again and go back to her view and come to her at dawn with all her money without telling anyone, and she will take the address of the man. Cannibal accepted the job and went to her at dawn, and this was the last trip Cannibal did in her life. Weeks after the disappearance of Miss Cannibal, her sister-in-law went to file a report at the police station, and that she had last seen her leaving the house with her clothes and all her money without talking to her and telling her where she was going, and that in the last days of her disappearance she was going to Cianciulli. So the police went to investigate her, but Cianciulli got out of their hands, where she told them that Cannibal went to Venice to work there for one of her acquaintances. And when the police investigated, she found that Cannibal had no acquaintances there, as she told them that there was something strange about this lady. So the police took her to the station to investigate her, but she refused to talk, and the police didn't find a way to make her talk. So she started threatening her son, and Cianciulli couldn't bear for something to happen to her son. And soon she started talking, and here was the surprise. The investigation with Cianciulli was started on the basis of the disappearance of only one lady and not three. When she was asked about where the bodies were or what had happened to them, she replied that the bodies were food and soap for the people of the city. As Cianciulli was famous recently for the irresistibly delicious cakes and the famous soap, the police didn't believe her and thought that she was lying and that her son was helping her to get rid of the bodies, but didn't find evidence of that. So it ended up that Cianciulli was the only guilty one. The trial of Cianciulli began, which received great attention from the press and Italian public opinion. And the trial began with Cianciulli defending herself and that she was doing this to defend her children, and that her mother came to her every night in a dream, asking her for the blood of a new victim, and in return her son nothing would happen to him. But the court wasn't convinced, and the public opinion thought that she was doing this to steal the victim, nothing more than that, to end the trial with imprisonment for a period of 33, a year of them 3 years in a mental hospital. In 1970, Cianciulli died in a mental institution after living alone for the last few days of her life without anyone talking to her or eating from the support she was giving them.